here any moment now. I request our friends in the corridor to come in and occupy the seats. I request our friends who are in the corridor to come in and occupy the seats. Ladies and gentlemen, today's inaugural function will start with an invocation. This will be followed by Madam Director's welcome address. We have the lighting of the Kuthuvilakku, following which there will be presentation of mementos to our special guests. We will be listening to our chairperson who will address this gathering, and this will be followed by four presentations. We have our former principals, two of them are here, Dr. Ilango and Dr. Arumugam, and two of our former directors will be joining them, Dr. Chidambaram and Dr. Minishaji Thomas. We expect the President of the Alumni Association, Mr. K. Mahalingam, to be here in a moment. The latest update is he is expected around 11:30. He will also be addressing this gathering. We have an alumni representative of the first batch, the 1969 batch, reading out the felicitation which they have prepared for this special occasion. There is the vote of thanks by the Director in charge, Professor Tamarai Selvan, and we close with the national anthem. Thank you. Who doesn't like stories? We find them interesting because they talk to us about remarkable people and interesting places. In these 60 years, the National Institute of Technology Tiruchirappalli has gathered many interesting stories. Stories about remarkable men and women who guided her destiny, that today, as she is poised to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee celebration, NIT Tiruchirappalli is herself a beautiful story. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct pleasure to make the presence of these very distinguished persons here. Let me announce the presence of our director, Madam Akhila, the presence of our Director Board of Governors, Shri Bhaskar Bhatt, and two of our former principals, Professor Ilango and Professor Arumugam, and two of our former directors, Professor Chidambaram and Professor Minishaji Thomas. There are distinguished alumni in the audience, former faculty who have built remarkable careers in this audience. We are blessed to be in their presence. This is a day of days when the Jubilee celebrations roll on from this moment. We start this beautiful Jubilee celebration with invocation. Leading us in this invocation are Janani, a fourth-year research scholar in physics, and a faculty member from the Department of Management Studies, Madam Yamini. They will invoke Tamil Thai and followed by Vande Mataram. Please rise.
கடலுடத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமிது தெக்கணமும் அதிர் சிறந்த திராவிடனர் திருநாடும் தற்ப சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே. வந்தே மாதரம் சுஜலாம் சுபலாம் மலயஜ சீதலாம் சஸ்யஸ்யாமலாம் மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம். சுப்ரஜோஷ்ண புலகிதயாமினி புல்லகுசுமித த்ருமதல சோபினி சுபாஷினி சுமதுரபாஷினி சுகதாம் வரதாம் மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் वन्दे मातरम्।
May I request Madam G. Aguila, our beloved director, to welcome the gathering.
Respected dignitaries, former principals, directors, faculty members, staff, alumni, students, and everyone who have gathered here, a very good morning. As NIT Tiruchirappalli is entering into the 60th year, we have gathered here to inaugurate the year-long celebrations of this joyous, proud, and momentous occasion. The institute was inaugurated in 1964 as a regional engineering college, REC, with the vision of catering to the needs of manpower and technology of the nation that has transformed into an NIT in 2003 by the Act of Parliament. Over the 60 years, the institute has grown out as a major institute for engineering and technology in the country, which is underlined by its first position among other NITs in the NIRF 2023 for the 8th year consecutively. The institute has renowned alumni scattered across the globe, and currently it offers a variety of programs in science, technology, management, humanities, and social science, which make NIT Trichy as most sought after by brighter heads. From a teaching institute as an REC, NIT Trichy has now grown into a robust teaching and research institute, and we are extremely grateful to the remarkable contributions by the former principals and directors. Their unique vision, administrative style, and personality helped in building the institute. Let me speak about the founding principal of REC, Professor Mani Sundaram, who was affectionately called by the students as Princey. He was a great visionary who took the first step with faith. As I stand in front of you carrying the baton of leadership from Dr. Mini Shaji Thomas as the 4th director and 7th institutional head, it gives me immense pleasure and huge responsibility. I am joyous as the institute is now in its full potential, entering into the 60th year. It also makes me more responsible to keep up the standards set by the former principals and directors in academic, administrative, and institutional reforms and restructuring, aligning with the global standards and adhere to the ideals of Indian philosophy of education. Post-COVID, when the students are coming back to the classrooms, we call it new normal. I also wish to see the institute in the same line. It is not just a 60-year-old institute, but one that tries to regenerate with innovative ideas. However, we cannot forget the journey we undertook and the stakeholders who supported this institution in attaining its present glory. In these 60 years, NIT Tiruchirappalli has proven to be the leading institute of India on many fronts. This institute continues to be on the top among NITs in the NIRF ranking for almost a decade. The institute has over 7,500 students enrolled to various programs, and the alumni is placed in reputed institutions and industry across the globe. We adhere to the latest revisions proposed by the government and adopts changes that occur to educational policies. Accordingly, we are now aligning with the National Education Policy 2020 and is committed to implement a flexible academic curriculum, facilitation of industry collaborations, credit transfer from elite institutions, apart from introducing courses that cater to the needs of the students to make them globally competitive, meeting the standards set by Indian philosophy of education. On behalf of the institute students, faculty, staff, and alumni, I extend my gratitude and happiness for the service rendered by these former principals and directors, faculty, and staff members. May this be a year that add more glory to the legacy of the institute in every respect. We will be organizing several social and cultural programs, special activities, or events in order to create impact and also to publicize the social contributions of NIT Tiruchirappalli. Apart from the annual cultural, technical and sport fest, as well the activities organized by various students and faculty clubs and councils, which usually attract a large number of participation from other institutions. We will also organize open house to talk about the significant achievements of the institute, the society and perspectives. So today, on July 13th, 2023, we are inaugurating the year-long celebrations of the 60th anniversary, and we are looking forward to your good wishes and greetings for on this occasion. Once again, let me welcome our chairperson, Shri Bhaskar Bhatt, our former principals, Dr. B. Ilango and Dr. M. Arumugam, our former directors, Dr. Chidambaram, Dr. Mini Shaji Thomas, recall president, guests, distinguished alumni, faculty, and staff members of press and media and students. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Madam Director. May I now request Madam Director and the dignitaries to light the lamp. This will mark the ceremonial beginning of the Diamond Jubilee celebrations. It looks like there is a lamp for REC Trichy and a lamp for NIT Trichy. It's going to be lighted on either side. We request our Deans Planning and Development and Institute Development to join the dignitaries for lighting of the lamp. Madam Director will now honor our special guest with a bouquet. Madam Director will present the bouquet to our chairperson, Shri Bhaskar Bhatt. I request our Dean Academic Programs, Dr. Ram Kalyan, to present a bouquet to our former principal, Professor Ilango. I request Dean Students, Professor Karvembu, to present a bouquet to our former principal, Professor Arumugam. Request Dean Faculty Welfare, Professor Kumareshan, to present the bouquet to our former director, Professor Chidambaram. Dean Research and Consultancy, Professor Shankara Narayanan, will present the bouquet to our former director, Madam Mini Shaji Thomas. We have a little more of this. Madam Director will now present mementos to our special guest. To the chairperson, Sri Bhaskar Bhatt. To our former principal, Sri Ilango. To our former principal, Professor Arumugam. To our former director, Professor Chidambaram. And a former director, Madam Mini Shaji Thomas. Because we would also be dipping into, thank you very much. We would, because this is a Diamond Jubilee celebration, Jubilees are occasions when we dip into the pages of history, and a little bit of history here. It is during the tenure of Shri Bhaskar Bhatt as chairperson of the Board of Governors that NIT Trichy got its first woman director, Madam Inishaji Thomas, and the second woman director, Madam Akhila. It's been a wonderful journey. Chairpersons are not very visible. They remain in their very secluded places taking important decisions, but this chairperson has been a little different, very accessible, quite affable, willing to share his wisdom. He has traveled the world, seen the world, happy to share his wisdom. Wonderful person. We're so happy that he is presiding over this Diamond Jubilee celebration. And I'm sure, like always, like his Teachers' Day address, he will have something interesting to tell us as part of his inaugural address. May I request you, sir, to address this gathering.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed momentous for me to be present on the same stage as such wonderful people here with whom I have shared this stage this morning, because I have probably the least tenure at this institute compared to any of you, perhaps even the students. So I'm really proud that I have been able to be present at this occasion of the Diamond Jubilee. But in jest, Professor Vinod, you pointed out that during my tenure, the directors have both been ladies, which, yes, is a good observation. It's also occurred to me that it happens to be the Diamond Jubilee celebration of this institute. Someone somewhere perhaps has destined that I should be here, because just before I joined this institute as chairperson of the BOG, I was dealing with diamond jewelry. Maybe that was what prompted somebody to make me the chairperson. So diamond jewelry, women directors, there's some match, I think, I don't know whether they are aware of it. But jokes apart, at the outset, I just want to thank everyone here, two of with whom I have been associated and continue to be associated, which is Dr. Minisha Ji Thomas, former director, and current director, Dr. Aguila. But the other three who have built this institute, there's one gentleman who couldn't make it today, but it is indeed a matter of pride for me to be able to stand here and thank you all, because each one of you has contributed to several things. Where we stand today as the best at NIT amongst NITs, and the ninth amongst all institutions, education, technology institutions in this country, is the result of the work that has happened over the last 60 years. And each one of you has contributed in its setting up, in its growth, and in its transformation. Each of these is a separate leg on which this institute stands. Foundation, growth, transformation. And we have reached a level of stability which is very, very comfortable. Of course, very inspiring, because everywhere we go, and certainly I was not associated with education all my life. When I say I am from the NIT Trichy, there is a certain lighting up on the other side. Oh, you are associated with NIT Trichy. So, most grateful for having built a great past for this institute and for making us so proud in the current. As I look into the future of this institute, I do believe we are poised for extraordinary strides that we are going to take in this institute. You people know, and ladies and gentlemen here know it better than I do. My association is really limited to the happenings and the discussions at the meetings of the Board of Governors. You know that this institute's expertise in academics, in research, in teaching, and most importantly, in the extraordinary human skills in the form of the faculty and the staff of this institute. That makes this institution so strong, so stable, certainly so proud. all that I have said up to now, the last few minutes, is not of my own making. That is what I want to tell you. I just paraphrased. I just asked, do you know about BARD? I just spoke about it in the other room. BARD is the generative AI of Google. So I just Googled saying, what is the future of NIT Trichy? And it told me all these things. So, so I wondered then, what is the role of human beings in this new world that is emerging? I spoke to you about the stable NIT. I didn't speak to you about the future of NIT. The BARD told me what the future of NIT looks like. But I think as I look at and as I have experienced this institute, the future is not going to be determined by technology and what the BARD says. It will be what the BARD says plus, I suppose. It should be so, because why are we human beings here? Because we can apply judgment, we can take risk, we can shower affection, we can demonstrate anger, we can show passion, and we can show commitment. None of this the BARD will be able to do. Do you agree with me? No machine will be able to demonstrate any of this. So without having to carry on the burden of speaking from the pulpit and doing a sermon, let me share some thoughts with you. All those things that we have said about where the future of this institute in terms of its academic orientation, expertise, research and development base, and the human resources skill in terms of its teaching faculty. And I think the country has very different expectations from Institute of National Importance, because the country is changing and almost the entire world is looking up to India, not just because we are the president of the G20, but because of other strides we have made as the world's largest democracy, perhaps the world's fastest growing democracy, and of course, largest population in the world. Every economic index is pointing in the direction of a great future for India. And contributing to this future are our youth. We know that the demographics of this country are leaning heavily towards the youth. And what does that mean? All of us, many of you, some of you may not have teenage children, but all of us have dealt with youngsters. And I really admire the energy and inspiration and the risk-taking ability of the young population of this country. Why does this translate into a great future is because the next at least 25 years, 27 years, up to 2050 or 2060, India will still have the demographic dividend benefit. And that is because the working population will be one of the largest in the world. Ability to contribute to the wheels of the economy will be the younger lot, not guys like me who have grayed. Because there are great people here who continue to contribute. So here is my request to all of us at NIT. We are an academic institute, but we are also an institution of national importance. What is the difference between an institute and an institution? I believe an institution attracts people retains people, and inspires people purely because those people feel a sense of pride and belonging to that institution, not because of the contractual arrangement between that entity and the individual. Let me explain. When I was working in a company, you could look at the employee as somebody who has an employment letter which says you will work so many hours per day, you will get paid so much, you will have 30 days of privilege leave, you will have sick leave, you will have benefits. That is the employment contract. But do people come to work because of the employment contract? I hope not. We tried to build in the Tata Group the contract. On day one you get, put it away in the cupboard. After that you think from contract to contribution. Contribution to make that entity not just an efficient economic engine in the case of business, but in the case of an institution like this, not just a great academic institution, but a great institution where people come together for a larger purpose. The larger purpose is what? I think this country has invested in this institution for nation building. For building the nation, we are building students here who will be future leaders of industry, of academia, of society. God knows so many leaders we should be building. And therefore, committing ourselves to that cause, I believe, is where we should be journeying. How to do that? You know best. You know best. The contract will continue, but the commitment has to be renewed, because with the announcement of the NEP, I believe that a new race has begun. All institutes have now started on a new starting line in this race. And this institute has a great opportunity to embrace the NEP, to become multilateral, multi-skilled, multidisciplinary, and appealing to multiple segments of society, not just an engineering institution. I believe the choices can be made starting today. You have started yesterday. Not just in humanities, not just, of course, not just in science and computer science and engineering and technology, and not just in humanities, not just in management. Why not sports? Why not history? Because that is part of humanities. Why not emerging areas? Abroad, you know, I think many of you visited universities, including cultural pursuits. There are universities which encourage that. So creating a holistic leader out of our stakeholders, and I believe our primary stakeholders are those who walk into this institution and walk out 4 years later or 5 years later, whatever the course may be. Building those people into future leaders, well-rounded future leaders of this country, able-bodied men and women who can think, who can apply judgment, who have emotion, who have risk-taking capability, and who are totally committed to building the future India that is going to be truly respected even more by the globe. I'd like to leave you with this thought about not just what the bard said, but what your mind and heart tells you about where this institution should be. Thank you very much and all the very best.
Thank you, sir. Allow me to characterize your speech, uh, what an inspired bard would do. And in the spirit of your presentation, is our hope that within the next 25 years or even sooner, NIT Trichy would be able to develop something similar or even better than the bard. We would be sufficiently inspired to do that. Very interesting that you reminded us the nation has invested in us. We cannot afford to let the nation down. And also made the plea that we have to renew this contract with the nation. The creative implementation of the national education policy is the way to go. You also pointed out in a typical entrepreneurial style that we should go out of the conventional ways of thinking and choose careers in unconventional areas. But once again, history tells us that long ago, around 1971, when James Bond and Diamonds Are Forever released, the humanities department in REC Trichy had a musician among its faculty, Rajiv Taranath, a great sarod player. Rajiv Taranath is the disciple of Sir Ali Akbar Khan, and then has consulted with Pandit Ravi Shankar, Annapurna Devi, and such remarkable musicians in the sarod genre, and he now lives in Mysore, still an active musician. So the humanities department at NIT Trichy can boast that one of its illustrious forefathers is a great musician. Thank you very much for sharing your wisdom with us. Let me remind our audience that we will have 4 presentations. Our former principals and directors will address us one after the other, starting with Professor Ilango, followed by Professor Arumugam, and then followed by Professors Dr. Chidambaram and Dr. Minishaji Thomas. Between 2 presentations, we would have clippings of our departments on the screens. So we indulge your patience. Our first presentation is by a former principal, B. Ilango. I must say that we still have interesting stories about his time and what a fine principal he was. He became principal in 1990, and it was in his time that we started BTech Instrumentation and Control Engineering, MTech Computer Science and Engineering. In 95, we started MTech Non-Destructive Testing. Professor Ilango made his reputation as a respected teacher of electrical engineering, had a stint in the USA where he has taught in one of the leading universities. But that is also, but there are a number of other very interesting points we need to know about Professor Ilango. In his time as principal, I'm told, and this is storytelling time, um, during his time, faculty dreaded visiting him because whether he was ready to receive or not, his editor's blue pencil was always ready to make corrections in the drafts that professors brought to him. So it was always a dreadful proposition visiting the principal because there would always be a class, invariably a class in English grammar. But there is another apocryphal story. People who wanted to somehow get closer to Professor Ilango deliberately committed mistakes here and there that he would correct them, and then the conversation would lead to a good relationship. So there are so many engineering ways to get closer to people. We had in civil engineering about that time a very tall professor, Moses. Moses retired a couple of weeks back. But I was told Professor Ilongo was taller than even Moses. So in every respect, the director was the tallest person on campus. Shall we have Professor Ilongo address us?
Good morning, everybody. Respected Chairman of the Board of Governors, the present Director, the past directors, including me, members of faculty and students. This is born. I'm happy to be here in this hall. I feel as though I was born here. I should thank Vinod Balakrishnan for all the remarks he made on me. Vinod Balakrishnan, I invited him a few years ago, 2015. I was conducting a course, not as an engineering professor, but as an English professor. As Vinod was telling, combination engineering and English. I was also running an institute, Inaugural Institute of English and Engineering. This title, I think there is only one title in the whole world. Nobody runs an institute for English and engineering. Anyway, a 5-day course for English faculty, all the English faculty of Shastra University, 2015. Professor Setharaman asked me to conduct. When he first said English course you conduct, I said yes. I thought for engineering professors. But he said it is all over English faculty you conduct a course. I did that. Why I am saying this? Vinod Balakrishnan, I invited as one of the guest faculty members, and he received the highest rating among all the guest faculty in that 5-day course. This I want to mention here. Now, this institution was a turning point in my professional career. Why I say it gave me a lot of different experiences, myriad experiences it gave me here. You take any complicated incident that would have happened in REC Trichy, including Mr. Anantaraman is sitting here. There was a big case. I cannot go on with all that, take a lot of time. You saw a boy and a girl, and then they were fighting, he separated them. But that gave rise to series of problems. I was asked to dismiss that boy. And the order came from the then chief minister. And one Karpuri Sundarapandi, IAS, he called me in the dead of night. I was not there. I called him back in the morning. He said, dismiss the boy, report immediately. I said, how can I dismiss? When I dismiss the boy's future is gone. I was worried about the student. He says, no, it is CM's order, obey. That's all. But I didn't tell him the CM has nothing to do with the REC. It's the autonomous institution, society, not a government department. Anyway, I said I cannot do. He was very angry with me. That time, Education Minister was R.M. Veerappan. He came, before this incident he came, then before the order from CM came, he came. When I said, okay, be lenient. After the order came from CM, he completely changed and he said, no, you dismiss him. And I told the minister, see, he has not done a crime to dismiss him. It's a small problem. He said, no, don't bother. CM's order, obey. This is the order I gave. Said nothing doing. Okay, sir, I'll think over. I did not obey even then. Then finally I got that boy. I saved him from dismissal. I gave him admission in Karaikudi. And from Karaikudi, I transferred him to Anna University, where he wanted to be. I don't know, he has gone to USA, he is doing well. Anyway, this institution gave me a lot of such experiences. Confrontation. I had the unique opportunity of confronting the education minister directly, almost on a day-to-day basis. Because he wanted certain admissions, don't want to go into details. Admissions which are not correct, not legal. I refused. I said, I will not make even a single admission. He was very angry with me. He removed me from the post. He said, instead of blaming me or bringing charges, he said, Dr. Ilango is relieved to enable him to join back his parent department, Anna University. This is the order given, so mildly. But I said, nothing doing. Okay, you relieve me, you're relieved. But I won't go back to Anna University, I'll go to the court. I did that. And I fought, I came back. So what I am saying, if you want to implement the right things in any professional career, you need a lot of courage and readiness to sacrifice. Because you will have to face a lot of difficulties. 2,300 years ago, Aristotle said, courage is the most important quality of a man. Without courage, you can achieve nothing in life. And courage comes next only to honor. Honor is even more important than courage. So combine these two, you will always succeed in life. The failure may be transient, may come and go, but finally, success will be yours. Then I had some interesting experience in the hostel. So I had a complaint that people are drinking, sir, you should check all this. I said, what to do? So you go on December 31st, New Year is going to be born. I think it was 91 or 92. I went there. I took my ambassador car. I myself drove. Went about 7:30 or so, just before 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock, all the students will be shouting and dancing and all. Then I wanted to catch hold of one or two people who were drunk. But then everybody was drunk. What I could do? I had to join them, that was all. They, I had no other way. They said, sir, you have come to the hostel at this time. You take us for a tea party. So at that time, the opposite the road, other side of the road, there was a tea shop. So I took all of them. So that was a very funny situation. But okay, I joined hands. Okay, let them be happy. We can't do anything. Problem. Then hostel ragging problem. So what I used to do, I used to go around the hostel. One day I went with a kaili and a mundas talpahe so that people will not identify me. That time it was, I think, early period, 91, I think. Just then I had taken over in 6 months or so. Anyway, I don't remember exact month. I was just going with so that I can watch people who are engaged in ragging. So I went there. One student was coming, probably it was a Sunday, I'm not sure. He had come from his home, arrived from train. He had a big luggage, he was walking. Then I went there as a coolie and asked the boy, can I help you? Yes. Okay, you take it. He told me, So he gave me the luggage. I put it on my shoulder. I was carrying and walking along with the student. I reached the hostel. Somebody recognized me. Hey, our principal Ra, they were shouting. Then that fellow fell at my feet, sir, and he said, sir. I said, it's not your mistake, no problem. What is that? I helped you. It's just a funny situation. So, battling with the minister, battling with the situation where the Iranian students and Indian students were at loggerheads. All the Iranian students took a beeline to my residence. They were sitting in the entry. From the entry up to my house, some 20, 25 people, Iranian students, all tall and well-built fellows. I look small before them. Normally, I look down on people like this because of the height difference. But then I was looking like that to Iranian students. They were so tall, well-built. I said, sir, you allow us to fight your students. Let 1,000 students come, we will fight. They had a cycle chain. Problem was very serious. At the time, our P. Subramaniam was very helpful. He was with me, he was a warden, and he was also beaten up. He received a stone beating. Anyway, we have had such experiences. Although gives some problem, you gain a lot of courage and you gain the confidence to handle any situation. So that's why I said this REC is a turning point. As far as the performance of the institution was concerned, we raised the placement percentage from 65% in 1990 to 95% in 1995, in a 5-year period. There were 10 departments at the time I was principal. 7 departments could score 100% placement. Only 3 departments, metallurgy, civil, production. They could not reach 100%. But it was also high. The average was 95%. So we used to have even celebration for the highest replacement. At one stroke, TCS came and took some 50 people at one stroke, one interview. So we had a celebration for that in Hotel Sangam. Anyway, these were happy days. What I would like to say, the students now and then are doing a lot of mischief, all right, but very brilliant students, highly capable, and with a lot of histrionic talents. The talents the students have, now it will be even more than what at that time they had. As the chairman was referring to cultural programs, there is very important cultural program. We have this September program, September you call it, and used to have a lot of bad things also. So we cut them all, and they did very well. We had this Pick group coming and performing here, and our own REG students, thespians, by the name thespians, they were staging drama. Excellent dramas they could stage. They could speak so well. I never used to fail attending those dramas conducted by our students. So what I am trying to say, the students have a lot of potential, especially the students after a severe selection process coming and joining the erstwhile REC or the present NIT. They are very talented. They should be properly directed. And as far as the examination is concerned, the faculty must be very strict. If I say like that, some students may not like it, but still, it is good for your own future. At that time, it may be happy without doing anything, you get some marks. There's no meaning in life. You should earn it the hard way. Then it has a message, it has a meaning, and you perform. A student by name Ilayaraja, 95 batch of REC, NIT. 95 was REC only. He is in USA. He sends me a WhatsApp message saying, "Sir, I am doing IT business and I am doing very well, and it is all because of you." That may not be true, but it is his own effort. I have got a private aircraft. He sent a photograph of the aircraft. His name is Ilayaraja, 95 batch, computer science. I learned leadership from you. This is what he said. He wrote, I have that message with me. What I am saying is, people are capable of performing. Encourage them. Proper instructions be given. Proper opportunities be open to them. They will do exceedingly well. And I am very happy to hear the chairman having a lot of dreams about the progress of this NIT and raise the chairmanship. I'm sure that this chairmanship and with the able assistance of the director, Dr. Aguila, you will be marching ahead and giving a yeoman performance, a model performance to other engineering institutions of this country. Thank you very much for the opportunity that you have given me to address. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ilango. We will now request our fifth principal of REC Tiruchirappalli, Professor M. Arumugam. He was the last principal of the Regional Engineering College Tiruchirappalli, and for some time officiated when REC became the National Institute of Technology Tiruchirappalli. Professor of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Professor Arumugam has held practically every administrative position on our campus, including Principal of REC Tiruchirappalli. May I request you, sir, to address the gathering.
Morning to everybody. Respected Chairman, beloved Director, former Principal Dr. Ilango, former Directors, faculty members, students, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to be in the midst of galaxy of people on this happy occasion of the inauguration of the Diamond Jubilee celebration for NIT Tiruchi. I have served this institution for more than 30 years as in different positions as assistant professor, HOD, dean, principal, and for some time as director of this great institution. I have seen many developments in this institution during my lifetime. So I spent about 31 years in this campus, staying all the time in the campus. Dry campus, but now to a great extent it has become a green campus. I want to share some of my ideas or learnings that I have acquired during my service. See, everybody wants to achieve success in all their activities. What is success? Success is attainment of one's object or of wealth or position or person or thing that turns out well. So for success to result, you must have this following: inspiration, aspiration, desperation, perspiration, all in that order. Every success story is also a story of failures. I'll just give an example on this. A man failed in his business at the age of 21. He was defeated in a legislative election at the age of 22. He again failed in his business at the age of 24. His sweetheart died when he was 26. He had a nervous breakdown at the age of 27. He had lost a congressional race at the age of 34. Again, he had lost a senatorial election at the age of 45. He had failed in the vice presidential election at the age of 47. Again, he lost another senatorial election at the age of 49. He was elected again. He was elected the president of USA at the age of 52. He was none other than Abraham Lincoln. Another interesting example as follows. A 4-year-old child and partly impaired was sent to school. After a week at the school teacher sent a note to the parents. The mother saw the note. It is as follows, within a quote: "Your tummy is too stupid to learn. Getting him out of the school." Quote ends. The mother said to herself that my child is not too stupid to learn and I will teach him myself. That tummy grew up to be the greatest of all inventors. That person is a great, anybody can? Thomas Alva Edison. In the year 1914, at the age of 67, Edison lost his factory due to a fire accident. It had very little insurance at that time. He watched his lifetime efforts go into flames and remarked, in quote, "There is great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burnt up. Thank God we can start anew." quote ends. 3 weeks after this incident, he invented the phonograph. Edison had failed approximately 10,000 times while he was developing the famous incandescent light lamp. That lamp now we are discarding and throwing away, being replaced by the LED lamps. The qualities that make a person successful are as follows: desire, commitment, responsibility, hard work, character, attitude, positive belief, persistence, pride of performance, lifelong self-learning, and philanthropic effort. Now, if you want to succeed, the success can be from an individual or from a group. We say the group in success is important for the family, for the village, for the town, for the state, or for the country, or for the world. So therefore, we say always that coming together is beginning. Keeping together is progress. And if you work together, you will achieve success. So therefore, if you want to achieve success, these points should be followed. And every one of us, we want to succeed in all our efforts. Now, these are some of the points that I want to remember. I want to share again some more points that I will say. These are the points that you may listen and take it as an advice or as a prize. Temper is a valuable possession. You won't lose it. If a man will begin with certainties, he will end up with doubts. But if he will be content with to begin with the doubts, he will end up in certainties. All science is dominated by the idea of approximation. If a yes person is, a yes person is a dangerous person who is used by superiors, disliked by colleagues, and despised by subordinates. So until you know your job, you cannot be a leader. Real life consists not in falling, but in rising every time you fall. Again, the society says, wants to know from where it can get quality education, like any other consumer durables, and looks for a stamp of quality. If you don't provide the quality education, they will seek the same somewhere else. So therefore, we always ensure that quality in our education system. Now, therefore, these points may be taken as advice or as facts of life. Generally, people don't like advice. On the other hand, if you keep prices on them, they will be very happy, but the advice will lead them to the success. On the other hand, success will lead them to failure. That's what in Tamil you say, Arivurai Akam Tarum, Ugadurai Bodai Tarum. So with these few words, I wish that the year-long Diamond Jubilee celebrations will be a success. I wish you all, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be in the midst of you and energetic people like you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for your hearty. Our next speaker is the first full-term director of the National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, Professor Chidambaram from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. In his time, this campus saw phenomenal growth. He recruited from across cadres. Something that one must always say about Professor Chidambaram is that while he completed his term and circumstances took him back to his assignment in IIT Madras, something must be said. Circumstances can take Chidambaram away from NIT Trichy, but NIT Trichy, you can never take NIT Trichy out of Professor Chidambaram. He is so passionate about this place, willing to lend his hand and support, advice, anybody, teaching, non-teaching, anybody. You only have to say you are from NIT Tiruchirappalli. You walk straight into his heart. It was even last week that he was present here as an educational consultant, addressing faculty attending an FDP on 6G conducted by Gopi of the ECE department. But Professor was there along with our director, Madam Akila, to express his concern for the changing scenario in the engineering education. So, a very interesting person. I thought we should listen to him. So, may I request you to address this gathering?
Very good morning, everybody here. Glad to be here to address you. If you look at how an institute can grow, teaching faculty, management, triangle, and if you ask you what a teacher as a faculty do, I have to teach well. And you know, good teaching is highly rewarding and it's a part of our culture. And find ways to learn from excellent teachers in your department or IITs and so on. And you have to do quality research. You have to train our PhD student. For example, I did 6.5 years, tough time in IIT Bangalore. I did ME and did PhD. Very tough time, almost life lost. Then I went join IIT Bombay. I thought I should not make my students suffer what I did. So I start working with the student, make them learn research work, complete them 3 years, good publications, go for a good job. So that's what you have to train our student. Okay, and we have to publish quality publications, good journals. I think, and I used to train BTech student, get their publications, MTech student, get publications. Other departments would walk into room, sir, I want to work with you. What for? I want a paper so that I can go abroad. Yes, give me a problem. So you have to be thorough literature survey. Every faculty, I stay all the time in the library, but I don't see here faculty going to library, unfortunately. Maybe today we have the online literature survey, probably that's why it's not there. But in our time, we used to go to library every time. And then you have to be thorough in the literature survey. When students come in, you have to give a problem. Just take the paper, extend it to this idea. You tell the student, go to library, search for a problem, never come back to you. So you have to be alert in the literature survey. Then student also will read the literature survey. I do it for formatting a problem, but students should again do the literature survey to solve the problem. I think you have to, day and night, you have to work. It is thorough literature survey should be thorough. I think this is where our success of our research and our ranking of our institute, everything. And students respect us. And many of my students, about 5 students did 2 years PhD. They completed the PhD over 2 years, good number of publications. And you have to apply early for grants. A lot of projects are there, DSD projects, Ministry of Mines, so many things are there. Try to get a project grant so that you can equip your lab and then students can get the results and you will be among the top researchers in the country. And you have to train ourselves. We should know how to manage a research group, how to collaborate with the colleagues, how to give respect, how to take respect. And you have to get mentors who will give you advice. Maybe you may not get here, but you can get it from IITs or from abroad. And you be a mentor also to your own juniors. Tell them, don't discourage them. I would have failed, but I have to tell him, I think you have to success. I think that's why you have to be a mentor for your juniors, scholars here or elsewhere. In fact, I was asked by MIT Tiruchirappalli, do they often ask me to come for BTech project evaluation, MTech project evaluation, give a talk to faculty. I go there, they used to tell me, sorry, you are the only faculty, few faculty members from IIT who will come and tell us. Many IIT faculty do not come to us. They say they are busy, very difficult to contact them. So whenever I give a talk, the faculty who reach for PhD, they try to work more and get a paper. I think you have to motivate that way. You have to help other institutions. And in fact, in IIT Madras had a very good land that was taken away by the Tamil Nadu government. Later, we brought a notice of Minister, CM, and CM said, okay, we will give you equivalent land even larger than this land elsewhere. But tell me how IIT is located in Chennai, how it is helping the other institutions of Anna University and other remaining colleges. Then director sends email, please, whenever you go to any college, give us a note, make a note of it. But any of CM was not very keen, but only initiated that one should help the nearby news. That's a fantastic job we have. And then she donated land, okay, very big land in somewhere in the Chennai in the ECR road. And take care of yourself, not only this is life. And the NIT and your family both want you happy and protect you for decades. Get enough sleep. Do not become chronically sleep deprived. Get regular exercise besides being good. We have very good camera. Just keep walking. For physical health, it is excellent for stress relief and psychologically well-being. Mind relationship. Loved ones need you and you will be strengthened by them. Balancing work and family life is one of the hardest challenges and you want it to succeed. And manage your time well. And we have to be stay focused on what is important and doing these things while being. And also you see that when I was here, we organized one week program, I think 3 days or 4 days program at Munnar on 7 habits of highly effective people, authored by Stephen R. Covey, and his team came there and they gave us what is important, what is urgent. You should know the difference between important and urgent. And avoid, there is plenty of time delay. And try to avoid looking at the email now and then as if something is coming. Look at only morning time before going for lunch and evening. That's all. And build a research group. You have to have research scholars, PhD students, postdocs. You have to train them, have a regular meeting and motivate them. And you have to run your group well, have regular meetings. The student motivate them with the freshers and final years and all that so on. And in fact, IIT Madras, we do that. Throughout our, let us say, last promotion I had in associate professor about 4 years ago, now I go for professor, every aspect is a point system. How many publications you have, quality of publications, and you are you a prime author or one of the 5, 6, 7 authors. And have you got grant, how much you got the grant, and how do you help the students, how to motivate them. So everything what you do is a point system. Like if you have NARF ranking, you remember there are a lot of point system like you can recall that we have on teaching learning resources. It has about 4 sub-points, 100 marks, out of which everything goes 20, 30, 40 and so on. And second is research and professional practice. And you know very well, everything is a point system. Everything is showing what you have done. Add up points, your rank is it. No interview. You think NRF you go for interview? No, you tell what you have done about all the points. Everything has a mark. Submit up, depending on the mark, you get the ranking. Similarly, IIT system, interview has only 20 marks. I know before going to interview, I know I'll be through. If they don't give, I can challenge them. Of course, they may give some reasons. You look too young, or you don't salute the faculty on the corridor. All the things they will tell. But I can go with confidence. I have this point. I have this many publications. I have motivated my students, written books, authored books, given planned lectures and conferences, international conferences. So everything has a point stick. That's how you work. And I told one point, important point: take care of yourself. I work throughout day and the interviews committee says, no, that's a problem. That's only, really something wrong you are doing to the institute. Interview has mark only 20 marks. Even they give 0, I have 80 marks, I can get 60 and get through. I think you need such a transparent system. Interview, just failing interview, I think you are not promoted, means something wrong with the system. So let us follow IIT system. I appeal to Chairman Board of Governors, Director. I think you ought to recognize the meritorious faculty. You do recognition, that's important here. Otherwise, all the time going to court only. One day I got a urgent call from court that I should appear in the court. You know what is court? No, I need to do research. After coming here, I went to court. I think Justice Chandru was judge there. And he asked the institute lawyer, Madam, your director has come today. I was sitting behind, you know, the court was on barrier, we sitting back. He said, yes. I approached him, did I call you for tea? There's a serious problem in the institute. NMR wants to be permanented and as per rule cannot do it. Unless you come, how can I give that? So he said, I think, why you didn't come for earlier? You have sent so many letters, event letter, why you didn't come? I said, I was not given from your administrative section. Here there's a problem. They won't show you the letter what they received to the director. I don't know what's happening. I really stand where I am. Like I was doing a PhD, whatever you do, nothing is progressing. Same thing, coming here, all sorts of problems you never heard of in your life. How a letter comes direct, how they hide it. Then I told, sir, forgive me, I am the first time coming. Recently I took over director. Hereafter, whenever you go administrative work, first ask, is there any court case? Come attend. They're firing, no, open ragging. Then another one, they called me for some problem was in the hostel fee management section. You pay and then they, what do you call, they withdraw it and take the money. Some problem was there. So it was court case was there. They called me. This time it's a criminal court. Then only I know there is a court, criminal court and civil court. Madurai, remember there is a criminal court just before the down. What is that bus stop? Some bus stop is the local bus stop. I went there. First time I was standing in the cage. I used to keep that the Bhagavad Gita. I have to give everything what is right. I don't know, like a movie. It's like a movie, you know. You are acting. And others said those people who took away the money, they are standing like this. Then he said, Pro Chidambaram, do you know that whatever it is there, your complaint is right? Nobody has told you. Again, no, sir, it's correct. Then he said, you can go. And he said, next week we'll meet. Like that, director means all around. Okay, so I think these are some of the things I learned, but it's all doing for an institute purpose. I was the only fellow going around all 70 acres land. Do you know that? I think many faculty may not know there is some section corner, this corner, that corner. I think that's exactly what you have to do. Now you have the NRA ranking. I am sure you have formed a committee to look at what are the points you are weak. And to only one point I explained to you, the others you can show that. And for example, you have a combined metrics for publications. You have about, out of 30, you got 25, you can still improve it. And a metric for number of PhD students, and number of women students, number of women faculty. So you can look at each one and try to improve the points. I think committee is there, it definitely will look after. And now the last, and I want to make 2 more points. I want to appeal to every faculty. Our job is to teach a student. Don't think only publication is only important. Teaching only will give you become a good researcher. In fact, whenever I do very fundamental work, I introduce in the class. Okay, well, IIT is not free, no syllabus. But whatever it is, you must tell the students. So whenever any fundamental, I think I do contribution, I immediately introduce the class and get from the idea. We just don't walk into my room and say, I want to work the PhD. First 2 rank students. I get them good paper. By ranking, they go to MIT Masters of Technology. I was crazy among the students. Because I work for them. I motivate them. I won't look at my failure in my PhD program. That's gone. It's a bad dream. So don't go back. My job is here to train the students. So now I want to appeal to all of you. First year student, we made a point when I was here, all pros should teach first year student. Today's scenario is something wrong. Research scholar go and take the classes for the first year. And you know, these JE students first, they write the exam and come back, they are really meritorious on their own. They can study on their own. They say, we come to NIT sir, but if he the research scholar is taking, they are disappointed. So I will appeal to everybody, never send research scholar for taking classes. You have a class, 60 students send. Once you finish 5 lectures, conduct tutorials, grouping 16 to 3 batches, 20, 20, 20. Allow a research scholar to make the tutorial classes. So the research scholar should not write on the board. You make the student to learn what is given, what is asked for, what is the formula. You have to make them learn. That's an important thing available. If you do that, really, a student. In fact, engineering college, one should not at all. What is there in engineering college to fail? I think you have to make a student, you have to come to class. I think these are some of the effort you have to put into the society. Okay, and then second one is about the student point of view. And if you look at where our PhD students going today nowadays is a problem. And our government formed a good idea copying from US that we need to increase the number of PhDs. If you look at the US and India, we do produce large number of undergraduate students, BTech students, probably 6-7 times than in US. But PhD, they are 10 times more than India. So the government decided, let us increase the number of PhDs in our country. They asked the NIT to increase manifold. But one point he missed. In US, 90% people after PhD go to industrial R&D. In India, not even 2%. So our PhD degree holders, after the study here, they have option only go for teaching, nothing else. Teaching only. And everybody cannot get into IIT, NIT. Limited vacancies available. They have to go to private colleges. Look at the condition of the private colleges. Horrible. You are in slavery system. Century we are here. Salary is very poor. With PhD with 10 years experience, faculty gets 5 lakhs per annum, 50,000 per month, or maybe 40,000 per month. Whereas fresh graduate student, BTech student from state college, they get 8 lakhs per annum. How do I get a respect in my family? When I say I did PhD and now I work in engineering college, no respect and salary is very poor. And can I advise my student who completed MTech and comes and asks me, sir, I want to teach me? He says, useless, worthless. ME or even stop with the BE. Let us settle life. Look at the Rajinikanth song. Every 88 years, divide life. Do the best part of it. So now we cannot help anybody advise go for PhD program. What for? You spoil your life. And there is no faculty for association. We have faculty for association. Very tough to handle them. Good point they have, some bad point also they have. Look at non-teaching staff. You know, in private college, they cannot have May Day celebration. I went to NIT Warangal. I was there 3 years. Even NIT Warangal, they asked non-teaching staff, you go outside. I saw somebody taking the pole and one floor flag. They go outside the compound wall and then hoist the flag. I said, what's the problem here in NIT Warangal? IIT have separate, in center of the institute, they have separate office, they hoist the flag there. And Warangal, I went immediately, get sweet corn and juice trap pack and gave it to everyone. They are looking at me, who is the fellow? I gave every supporting staff, everybody I gave that day. I went to department and looked at the NMR ladies and gents, I gave them everything. So this how even NIT, some culture is there. May Day celebration one has to do, no? You should know the basics begin May Day celebrations. Private college, never. You can't ask anything. Salary is very poor. You get a publication, salary will be given. Some college, they don't even 3 months salary. Admission time, you have to get 3, 4 admission for a BTech admission first year, or you won't get salary. Where are we? And you know, today, we depend heavily on government. Government is meant for that, to support us, to help us. Unfortunately, difficult nowadays, what they do. So now the AICD is supposed to take care of it. I wrote a letter to Minister of Higher Education, I wrote a letter to AICD chairman. I think it's they don't reply, only say they acknowledge the email. So I met one of the director of AICD, asked him, did you ask yourself what AICD had done for the country? Why PhD students, PhD graduates suffer in the colleges? Why don't you ask them to pay well? They don't listen, sir, that's the question. They don't listen. You cannot take action against it. If you take action, ministry will call us and say, don't do. So I think these are some of the major problems we have, where we are going. NIT is given good amount of funding, IIT is given good amount of funding. Students are motivated. Go to any private college, any college you go, the students are really smart. Thanks to Google, thanks to all online learning subject, MIT, Master of Technology, Courseware, everything. But we have a problem here. So I think I really look at, I asked the director of AICD format, I asked him, can I say one day hunger strike? I asked him, can I do? Sir, you don't know about the politician, you won't be nowhere. Don't do that. Go to court. They are all the same thing only. Then who will well the cat? How to change the scenario? I don't know what exactly happening. So I pose a problem and then see somewhere, at least one day where the black badges. I see here very often people wear black badges. I think that some other problem we have to find it out. And look at the school system, very bad. You go to any government school, toilet will not be there, and nobody there, sweeper is not there. They don't impress cash. So after retirement, I thought I must do something to the society. So I spent about 2-3 months pension I spent to schools nowadays. There was one school I went to Assam, I stopped in 2 minutes. So I went to Assam, there is an institute called Central Institute of Technology. It's a government institute. In Bodo Strike, student demanded they need IIT, but government said, we'll give CIT, not IIT, but it's central government one. And I went and gave a talk, then after I asked the faculty who invited me, take me to school. He took me to government school. And you know that college road, all the army men were there in the guns. People are fighting. It's very difficult to go through the street also. I went to the school. It's a co-education school, but mostly a girl student, because parents do not want to send them far off with the system of security standing, the gun and all. I found that girls are taking a bucket of water and a midday meal, washing each plate. There is no hand wash, nothing, no facility. Drinking water, another can, pour a mug and taking water. There is no drinking water facility. I asked the faculty who invited me, immediately put estimate, index tank pump, all that. He said 80,000. I gave a check for 80,000. After 2 months, I am supposed to go there again for lecture program. When I went there, I went to the school. Everybody is washing nicely. Water tap is there, hand wash section is there, aqua guard is there, drinking water is there. Then the headmaster told me, sorry, great, sorry, I come from Chennai and helping Assam. I told I am faculty in NIT system. NIT system, you see the students from different parts of the country. It's a mini Bharat. I know every family, every name. from students throughout the world I know, familiar to me. Then I went to NIT Tiruchirappalli, same thing, village I went there, very mango tea and then top, mountain, everything really good. But school, if you go there, same problem. You go to any state, any party ruling, same system, everybody is united. All politicians, all state, everything, same way. Then I immediately arranged for hand wash and then an RO dispenser I gave. They really thanked me. Like that, then there is school after retirement, I went home back to Salem. In the same street, there is one girls, corporation girls school is there. When I went there, it doesn't look like a school. It's like a no paint or some building about to collapse. Then I went and asked the administrators, what do you want? He said, you are the only fellow, first time you are coming and asking, what do you want? We asked many people money, nobody is donating this school. I said, what is it you want? We don't have water, what you need? I immediately arranged people quickly, like here in NIT I did same thing I did, only thing I spent money from here. So much faster. I arranged for a borewell, 1.5 lakhs it happened. Borewell, syntax tank, what is available. And then the gate was transparent, people can go and see them and go. So I put a barrier, and then the stage was very bad. Maybe 20 years ago, they concept I removed and put a new one, and the ground I leveled, and then I gave public water system, so 10,000, and then I gave water dispenser. Now I gave a mobile toilet. Toilet is not at all there. Nobody, no person for cleaning the toilet. We teach our students, the girl student, and the council was a woman candidate. She studied in a convent school. She never knows a problem here. I gave, nowadays technology is coming here, mobile toilet is coming here. All convent schools, they have the mobile toilet. Okay, mobile toilet order, it's coming next week. So like that I give, they say, sir, how you are getting this? Tell me, parents. I don't know, but thought I have to give. I think myself, what I get the money? I spend about 3 months of my pension, 90 into 3, about 2.7 lakhs, sometimes more also. So like that I spent about more than 10 schools I did. And once the last one I finished up, I went to Dharmaburi. Near that is Intira I went. And there is one school, first to fifth standard. I talked to a student, what do you want? I have only one word, what do you want? He said, sir, you are sitting on the floor with a flag. I said, I also said that only. I also studied in government schools. Then he said, no, sir, look at the private school. They have round table, chairs. I said, okay. I immediately ordered from Nagargoil, from jackfruit, they make a wooden table and chairs I could only plastic because costly. Then I gave RO plan. And the parents, next day they came and met me, all are working daily wages. The mothers are working daily wages. They thanked me. We never imagined our kids will get this facility. After leaving there, I gave handshake to one student, all the best. Then he went home and told from professor from Chennai, very big institute, he came and gave me a handshake, means very nice like that. So after that, the MLA came and the councillor came for a Jubilee day, they asked me chief guest, and they thanked me. Then I thought, what I get? Then after 6 months, the MLA did another school. It made him to think he should also help. This is what I want to do. So with that, I stop it here. And only thing is, I'll again appeal to chairman, board of governors, and director. Look at points for promotion. Otherwise, really de-promote the faculty. We want to go up ranking, and we want to follow IIT system. You want to IIT system. I want to follow anything in IIT Madras or IIT Bombay. IIT Bombay is better, very good cosmopolitan city. And once I went to Sasa University, they invited me for some program. I saw 6:30 they close the girls' hostel. Then nobody can go out or in. I came here, ours is 9 o'clock. People come 9 o'clock, dashing, going to the city, and they come and the mess goes up to 10. Then I put a note, come 8 o'clock. Then one NRI came to my room with the secretary, boy secretary, and asked me, sorry, every time you are saying NIT should become IIT, the way you are taking this decision, NIT will become ITI, sir, not IIT. How can you take this decision 8 o'clock? And one rule for us, boys, any time is there. I said, now in my house, I asked my son to come, daughter to come early. Son, I even tell you won't listen. What I do? Like that is there. Then I asked student, do you agree? I will also for you to put 8 o'clock. That's for another. And these are some of the issues here. But still, no, we have to go forward. So with this note, I'd like to thank you all for listening to me. And very, very, very rare people listen to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Chidambaram. The director who precedes Madam Minishaji Thomas is Dr. S. Sundararajan. In fact, Professor Sundararajan was supposed to be here as part of the Diamond Jubilee celebration. He indeed arrived at Chennai airport around 4 a.m. in the morning, but his flight got cancelled and he had to return. But he sends his greetings. Being the tech-savvy man that he is, he has sent his messages on Twitter, on Facebook, and all social media, and also to reach everybody connected with NIT Trichy. He sends his greetings and his best wishes for the Diamond Jubilee. Our next speaker is somebody we have seen for 5 years. It's as if you can set your clock according to the activities of Madam Minnie Shaji Thomas. What they say about John F. Kennedy can be said about her. She was a woman in a hurry to change this place, transform it in every way possible. I don't know if there's anybody who can match her for energy, for enthusiasm, and what a fine time it was. Madam, this is your time.
Chairperson, Board of Governors, Sri Bhaskar Bhatt, Dr. B. Lango, Dr. M. Arumugam, Dr. Chidambaram, Dr. Aguila, the Registrar, all deans, my dear faculty, members, staff, students, illustrious alumni, friends from press and media, good afternoon. It's past 12. So it gives me immense pleasure to stand here today, to be speaking at the Diamond Jubilee kickoff function. Thank you for inviting me, Madam and Chairperson. So my congratulations to the Institute. We have done it, 60 years of existence as REC and NIT. Maybe because I am the immediate past director, I was flying whole night yesterday to reach here. I was just reliving my time at NIT Trichy. I still remember the day I joined, 28th November 2016. Very proud moment. I was so impressed with the infrastructure. By the way, I came to NIT Trichy for the first time to join as the director. So I was very impressed by the infrastructure. Of course, the brilliant and multi-talented students, able faculty and staff. Really enjoyed every 5 years of my tenure here. I acknowledge the contributions of everybody on stage. You are the ones who built up this institution. Now, going back the memory lane, I distinctly remember the strategic plan development, our outbound workshop. So we could develop a strategic plan with all your help, with distinct goals and targets. And as Professor Chidambaram was mentioning the 5 pillars of NIRF, sir, we have put in place a very strong data analytics team. We analyze the data, we compare with other institutions, we come up with targets, and we visit the departments every semester to check how they are. We used to give targets. I'm sure still Madam is giving targets to the departments. And last year we had set our targets to overcome, overtake IIT Hyderabad, and we did it last time. So we have systems in place, thanks to the team, each one of you. So the strategic plan was, I think what stands out in my memory is um, the embellishment of our emblem. Our emblem was very nice, very meaningful, but when you compare it with emblems of institutes across the world, it was a little dull. So without touching the emblem as such, I must thank Dr. Subbayan and his team for coming out with our new emblem, with the old emblem inside, maroon background, and it was written NITT earlier, so we expanded it to National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, and we wrote the year of establishment at the bottom. So I think that was a master stroke by the strategic planning team. IPR filing, we came up with an IPR policy and as well as a faculty startup policy, and thanks to the team, we went up to 40 patents per year filing. And I'm sure it immensely helped us in improving the rankings. But the best memory I have is of 12th March 2018, when after so many years we could complete the recruitment and the elevation process, and I still remember the happiness. The campus erupted in happiness. Also, it was nothing short of a miracle, where we could elevate 28 professors into HAG grade just one day before Professor Narayana Swamy retired. So I still feel that's a miracle. The media team, when that was the time when social media was just getting expanded, and our media team, which we created, is doing an excellent job. Congratulations to each one of them for being very relevant in the social media with all the platforms being explored, and our community magazine, etc. I think another major thing we could achieve was the unleashing the potential of the alumni. We had very illustrious alumni across the world, but I think the GAM 2020 and all that which happened thanks to Krishna Sai, Mali, and all the illustrious alumni, it was wonderful to work with the alumni, going across the world, talking to people, and interacting with them. It widened our horizons. Also, I have the honor of being the COVID director. As you all know, but very proud of the fact that we could protect and save everybody in the campus. Tough times, we completed the second recruitment. I still remember COVID had started. Everybody advised me stop the recruitment. The recruitment was from mid-February to 20th March 2020. And you remember COVID had started already across the world. I still remember supplying, the sanitizer to experts who came from Delhi and other North Indian states because it was out of stock. So, but Trichy still had, the sanitizer. So they used to pack sanitizers and take it. But we could complete the recruitment on 21st and make people join during COVID, making our guest house as the quarantine center, transferring them straight into the, their quarters. Great efforts by the whole team of people who did it. The only regret I have is I lost almost 2 years of my tenure to COVID. So I could effectively do institution building only for 3 years. It was such a learning experience, like all other directors, principals discussed here. It was such a learning experience being in, whether it was coordinating CSAB and JOSA with Dr. Ramesh is here, and being in high-level committees of the ministries, deciding things. It was very fruitful and experiential journey. I'm extremely delighted that, 6 of our institute department buildings are coming up and a hostel is coming up at rapid pace. I still remember the risk we took and we went ahead and transferred 1/3 of the money from our internal revenue resources and just started the buildings, thanks to our chairperson, board of governors, and the board of governors members as such. I think Center of Excellences and multidisciplinary research is the way forward. We realized this in 2000, probably the time I joined, discussions were always on, and I must thank the proposal we submitted for Institution of Eminence, the team which prepared the proposal for Institution of Eminence, and the Technology Innovation Hub proposals. So those proposal preparations gave us lot of experience and lot of futuristic vision as to what is to be done. Although we didn't qualify, I don't say we didn't qualify, we were not given. That's the word I should use, both. Because we had excellent proposals, they acknowledged it, but when the list came, we were not there. So, ports, Siemens Center of Excellence, and many other centers, that's the way forward. So we must nurture them and take them forward. I cherish the memories of Pragyan, Festember, NIT Fest, Sports Suite. I used to enjoy with students. I feel that the distinction of NIT Trichy is our students come out as rounded individuals because they get involved in all activities. So we must nurture that. We should encourage that. I remember we celebrate every festival in the campus. NITs are blessed that way because we have students from, last time I took the census, we had students from 28 states of India. So that's our great strength, and we must ensure that our students come out as rounded individuals and let them do whatever they want, because we have musicians to astronomers to film directors to musicians to technocrats and CEOs and whatnot. So we must encourage that. Another important aspect is, we ran the institute during my term almost 4 years without a chairperson board. So when finally we got a chairperson board of governors, I can't tell you how relieved I was. And I must express my sincere gratitude to Shri Bhaskar Bhatt. Such a wonderful chairperson board of governors, such a support. I was so relieved, I can't express it. Now, coming to the future, chairperson mentioned about NEP and the challenges. We are very glad we took up to, reducing the credits and introducing minors and honors and all that much before NEP came. So we are way ahead in that aspect. So, but only thing is NEP emphasizes on creativity, innovation and entrepreneurship. One thing which worried me when I joined, even when I left, was the very small number of entrepreneurs we produce. This has to change somehow. Otherwise, we will be left out. So when I talked to one, very senior IIT director, sir, how can I nurture entrepreneurship? What he told me was, close your placement cell. Then entrepreneurs will develop. But something we have to do to, nurture entrepreneurship. Also, another threat, I don't say threat, another help we are envisaging in higher education sector is, across the world, higher education is transforming, due to the insurgence of artificial intelligence and platforms like ChatGPT and whatnot. So there is no escape. And as per predictions, the way we teach, assimilate, evaluate, interact, everything will change in the next 5 to 10 years. Everything is going to change. The traditional way of going to class and teaching is not going to work. The students are becoming smarter and smarter. So my request to teachers is, we have to be smarter. We have to change. See, you remember the COVID times. We adapted so well to online teaching. You know, by procuring all the gadgets, we did online training with NIT Chennai. All of us, including me, attended. We could teach, we could overcome that crisis. This is another big crisis. I won't say crisis, another opportunity. Like the chairperson mentioned, humans are required. The other day, Sabir Bhati of Hotmail was with us in my institute. So I was asking, he was explaining how this is going to change. So my question was, what is the relevance of a teacher then? So his company, his new company is developing shorts. You know, 1 minute, 2 minute shorts on technological subjects. So he says, whether it's NPTEL or Swayam or whatever, who wants to listen to a 40 minutes lecture? When he or she can get the content in 2 minutes. So can we develop those? Can we get into that realm? So show a 2-minute video to the students, start your discussions. We started, I remember we started the team-based learning just before COVID. Dr. Ram Kalyan was doing it. So can we live up to the expectations? See, the world is changing. We will be left behind, and I'm sure we all have the potential. So we must take this up, and with NEP and this AI interventions, things are going to change, and I want to see NIT Trichy as the leader in this. We already have a MOOC team here. So my request is, and what is predicted is now even micro degrees are going to come. You do these small courses, and as per NEP, we can have dual degree. Simultaneously, somebody can do 2 degrees. So micro degrees can be offered in emerging technologies. We have to do it immediately. That's my request to the team. So I wish to see NIT Trichy reaching the greatest height in terms of innovation, creativity, and students should go out as rounded individuals. And so that's my wish, and I'm sure we have the capability. We have the best of the students. We have best of faculty. We have best of infrastructure. We have best of alumni. Then what is preventing us from taking that lead? That's my challenge to the institute. I wish the director and her team of outstanding faculty, students, and staff, with the help of our chairperson, all the very best, very successful year-long Diamond Jubilee celebrations. Now looking back, I took a bold decision to leave my family in Delhi and come down to Trichy as a complete stranger. Yet, you welcomed me as one of your own and made me part of your family. I will always be grateful for that and will always cherish those memories. I wish to conclude by quoting an old Irish blessing for NIT Trichy. May the roads rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sunshine warm up on your face and the rains fall soft on your fields. May the wings of destiny carry you afloat to dance with the stars. Once again, thank you for inviting me. I'm honored. Jai Hind. Thank you. I also offer my condolences to the families of 2 of our faculty members, Dr. Karthikeyan and Dr. Shivanesan. I'm very pained to hear these news.
Thank you, Madam Mini. It is as if you have never left us. It was wonderful listening to you. We now have Professor Anantharaman. He is an alumnus of REC Tiruchirappalli, the 1977 batch of REC, then retired senior most principal NIT Tiruchirappalli from the Department of Chemical Engineering. Professor Anantharaman will now read out a message as the representative of the very first batch of REC, the 1969 batch. So they have come together and written a message for the Diamond Jubilee, and Professor Anantharaman will now read it out to us. This will be followed by the a talk by Professor Mahalingam. Mr. K. Mahalingam is the president of RECAL, the REC Alumni Association. In fact, he has made a dash to this campus to be here in time to be part of the celebrations. He almost gave up because he was desperately trying to get here in time, but all of us have been here, and it's wonderful that he is able to be with us, and he will be speaking after Anantharaman sir reads out the message.
Respected members on the dais and off the dais, a very good morning to all of you. I'm really privileged to read out this message which has been sent by the first batch which entered this campus, that is 64-69 batch. In fact, I have personally interacted with them a lot, and they used to narrate a lot of things, but few things they have put in this message. Warm greetings to one and all assembled here from the batch of 1969. Yes, the very first batch of this college. We still remember that day 59 years ago, 13th July 1964. The day started with a homum, the fire of the mechanical engineering block. The college started with an English class taken by an eminent English teacher, Professor A.E. Varadarajan. He started the class with a spell check test. The sentence goes like this. Outside the cemetery sat a harassed cobbler and an embarrassed oculist picnicking on a desiccated apple and gazing at the symmetry of a lady's ankles with unparalleled ecstasy. I'll read it again. Outside the cemetery sat a harassed cobbler and an embarrassed oculist picnicking on a desiccated apple and gazing at the symmetry of a lady's ankles with unparalleled ecstasy. All our batchmates remember this sentence by heart even today. Pranams to our beloved principal, Professor P.S. Manisundaram, and our great, wonderful, and dedicated teachers who made us what we are today. Today, our hearts are filled with joy and pride on this historic occasion of inauguration of Diamond Jubilee celebration of this great institution. Our joy multiplies when we think that we are a part of the origin of the same. Indeed, we are very fortunate to be so. It has nurtured great personalities who are in the forefront of nation building, and there is absolutely no doubt that it will produce more such stalwarts. At the same time, our hearts are filled with sadness that we could not be physically present for this joyous occasion. We wish to convey our collective good wishes for a successful function and prayers for glorious days ahead of our alma mater. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Anantharaman. In fact, we are blessed to have the wishes of and the blessings of the members of the first batch. That was so nice of them to send a message for this Diamond Jubilee celebration. We will have our registrar presenting a bouquet to Mr. K. Mahalingam, President of RECAL. May I request Madam Director to present a memento to Mr. K. Mahalingam. Mr. Mahalingam is a chemical engineer from NIT Tiruchirappalli, and he has an MBA from IIM Kolkata, and he has changed the fortunes of his family company, TSM and Sons. Somebody who has championed several socially relevant causes. He heads a number of organizations. He travels around the state and across the country to talk to management students and share his wisdom. It's our pleasure that he is here, very happy that he is here, and he would love to talk to you. Please, Professor Mahalingam.
I'll start with a thank you for a kind introduction and a big apology. I feel like one of those family members who come very late for a family function almost as it was getting over. Apologies for my delay. I would like to blame Indigo Airlines for it, but I have to blame myself for not planning better. I really cut it fine. Me and Sai actually dashed here it just took us 20 minutes from the airport here. I don't think anybody's covered the distance in such a short time. Firstly, let me thank the dignitaries on the dais, Professor Bhaskabat, Director Aguila, Dr. Ilango, Dr. Armugam, Dr. Minishaji Thomas, and our registrar. We definitely miss our first principal, Professor Mani Sundaram, in this context. I joined this college under when he was the principal of the college. I can see my Professor Sundaram here also. So it's we miss Professor Mani Sundaram for sure, and Professor Nagaratnam also, who was our principal when I passed out. So we miss them. I think it is important to remember them because they are the people who shaped us and the college to a great extent. I should acknowledge the presence of Ramanan, the man who revived RECAL in the mid-90s from what it was. He made a sleeping giant rock, is what I would say. Thanks, Ramanan. We have a past president, Sai, here also, and other alumni. Manigandan is here, Venkatesh, our secretary, is here. Thank all of them and all other professors here. Thank you for being here. I'd like to continue by saying that the theme that we are children of this place, and children, when they grow up and go out into the world, they should remember the family and come back and not only support the family in whichever way possible, but whether it's financially or otherwise, but make sure the name of the family is not only protected but enhanced, and the pride of the family is told to the world. I think at RECAL we believe our job is to support the institute. Support is a bad word, give back to the institute is more like it actually. And over the last 3-4 years since with what started with Ramanan's times, in a big way, we are trying to take forward the legacy, and Sai and our previous president and we, all of us, have put together a series of initiatives to give back to the college in many ways. Broadly, three areas is what I would like to say it is. Support the institute financially. By financially, I mean through support through sponsorships, scholarship support, support for infrastructure. We have identified jointly earlier with Professor Minnie Thomas, we were doing activities, we did activities during COVID, and now with the current director Agila, new initiatives on supporting research, sustainability in the campus, scholarship for students. This year actually we took the scholarships up to 50 lakhs around 150 students, and we plan to make it almost double this year. So our initiatives will continue in every which way. We are talking of new initiatives like an innovation center. All I can say is that alumni are ready to write big checks, small checks, but all kind of checks. We are trying to identify the causes which we can execute to make the institute better in any way. The students, the faculty, the alumni, in any which we can support them, we are willing to do that. In terms of student scholarships, support through laptops, etc., faculty research projects, and so on. So in a financial way, whether it's infrastructure also, a couple of alumni have taken big initiatives like net zero for Lapis Hostel, etc. And we're getting big checks. So I can tell you the sense of the alumni is they're waiting to give. And RECAL will make every effort to channelize that will, intention and energy to support the campus and our institute, what I call REC Trichy and what is now NIT Trichy, in every which way we possible. Chairman and Director, you can take our support for granted and ask us for more, please. We are really ready to do more, and it's not ready. We are waiting to do because we don't think it's a duty. We think it's more than a duty. It's a passion all of us have for this place. Because I said in the beginning, we are what we are today thanks to this institute, basically. Apart from the financial support, there are a lot of alumni willing to give back intellectually and academically, share their experiences, it can be through academic collaborations, which RECAL is coordinating right now, and through maybe the new education policy allows something called professors of practice. A lot of eminent alumni, experienced alumni are willing to come and share their wisdom learnt in the world and their learnings to students here and the college in general. I think alumni, and if required, even give research projects to the college and the faculty so that the alumni can play a significant role in giving back not only financially, but in terms of knowledge sharing, supporting for research, etc. The idea is to make sure it's just not financial support, but academic and intellectual and technical support which we would like to give. Finally, all this should culminate in enhancing brand NIT. Okay, ultimate goal of all our activities should be brand NIT, and I hope and believe that alumni can be great ambassadors for the institute wherever they are in the world, and our job is to make sure that wherever we go, I'm sure all of you would have heard the industries minister and the guidance bureau head, Mr. Vignesh, were in the Bay Area last week, and they met with our alumni. Raja Ranganathan, a US chapter president, hosted them, and it was a great event. And one of our alumni, actually, Gopi Kalayal, had a long one-to-one session. Google, who was given the Distinguished Alumni Award, had a one-to-one session with the minister, and he might be invited to Tamil Nadu for other activities. I hope to bring him to college also. He was a Distinguished Alumni last year. So we'll do everything possible inside the country and outside the country to enhance brand NIT. My only submission is, I think NIT Trichy, unfortunately, our nature is to not state ourselves at all. I think we should state ourselves a little more and talk a little more about ourselves. Even if we cannot reach the level of the IITs, which Bhaskar has done such a great job building brand and IIT, we can get half the distance with his guidance, I'm telling you. And Minnie Thomas, Professor Minnie Thomas also was a distinguished from IIT, was part of this system. So we're going to learn a lot from the IIT system. We're already in the process, Bhaskar, I'm sure you're aware of. We're doing a lot of stuff with the IIT Madras system. So we'll take every step to enhance brand NIT Trichy. So that's the ultimate goal, and we are open to ideas, open to suggestions from students, faculty, everybody. We planning to work together towards the endeavor of increasing fundraising and increasing, streamlining the activities. We have hired a new CEO, Shamla Ashok, who is here in the audience today, to improve our operations and increase the fundraising. So the director and the institute, please be ready to use more funds. We are waiting to give you more funds, either through CSR or through alumni contributions. I'd like to sign off by saying, for me, this is a very, very emotional moment, because 60 years of it almost coincides with my 60 years, I can tell you. So it's a parallel for me. So I feel as young as the institute is what I would like to say, not as old as the institute. And I'm raring to go, and hopefully the institute, I can support the institute in whatever way I can to make it bigger, better, and one of the best in the world. Thank you.
It's like we've reserved the best for the last. Mahalingam's friends call him Mali. We thank Mali for that wonderful pouring out of his emotions. We're so happy that you have managed to come here in time and be part of this beautiful function. Going forward, we will strengthen our relationship with the alumni and enhance brand NIT Tiruchirappalli. Thank you very much, Ali. Sometimes, we've got used to seeing Professor Thamurai Selvan as registrar, that we sometimes forget he is professor in the Department of Management Studies. Request Professor Thamurai Selvan, our registrar in charge, and Professor Department of Management Studies, to propose the vote of thanks. This will be followed by the national anthem.
Thank you, Vinod, for remembering me. Okay, so professor. Okay. Good afternoon. Okay, so I feel honored and privileged, and more than that, I am blessed to stay in this stage for providing this vote of thanks, because I am being touched by all the people here. To start with, I got my admission, MBA admission, during 1992 batch, and out of 700 plus people, and only 24 people got selected. And Professor Ilango sir was selecting me for MBA program. Still, I remember the class he took in MBA program, and when he came, he has given around 10 words for the dictation. Most of the people fumbled on 2 different words. One is on tuition, another is on government. Usually TUI, I, most of the people forgot. Government, N, most of the people forgot. He knows where exactly the people, and we know pretty well that right from there, what exactly we are supposed to do whenever we are writing any kind of words. Thank you, sir. And more than that, we remember him for leadership. And most important thing is that he rightly pointed out he has increased the placement percentage, not only for the UG program, even for the PG program, especially for the MBA. And we started with the first batch, we started with our placement, and almost more than 90% we placed. Thank you very much for that initiative. Okay, that's why we are able to come up with the flying colors, especially for the MBA department. Thank you so much, sir. And again, Arun sir, and we had a very close connection. I was taking care of the RECMA, Management Association, as well as the alumni. And once we had an interaction, and I just walked into his room, and he was giving a very good advice. He knows that what to do, what not to do. As a young faculty, he has given the right kind of a blending mixture of advice. Still, I am following that. Thank you for your wonderful advice. Still, I am following the same kind of things. Thank you for coming down here and providing such a nice words on how to be a successful person with a lot of quotes. And Chidambaram sir, and he was the one who identified me some kind of an administrative capability available with me. And he has chosen me as an associate dean, administration, taking care of almost all the infrastructure facilities in NIT Tiruchi, right from hospital, guest house, almost everything. And especially whenever he calls, and I know that there is going to be heavy work. And what he does is that probably after 9:30, he calls me and says that சார் பாருங்க அங்கே ஏதோ ஒரு சின்ன இஷ்யூ இருக்கு, just go and look around and you will also come along with me. So that is the kind of, because he rightly pointed out, he has taken me to almost each and every part of this particular infrastructure facilities, and during that period we have developed almost everything. Okay, right from your estate welfare hospital, at that point of time we built this hospital, and almost whatever the items that we bought, still it is there from Godrej. Thank you so much for building this institute with all the infrastructure facilities, sir. And Mini ma'am. Okay, so continue with that, and estate welfare committee chairman, he has given an opportunity, and after before the COVID, and we could see that there are a lot many shops, we categorized them, and we did some kind of a strategic planning for that. Thank you for the opportunity, ma'am, and I know how close you are with this particular NIT. I could understand your emotional speech, and we are also part of your family, and we always welcome you as a part of a family. And thank you so much. And continuing with that, I also blessed with Dr. Bhaskar Bachar, Chairman sir. Okay, because every time when I'm interacting with him, especially in the BOG meetings, and wherever we don't have any kind of a clarity, he always come with the simple solutions. So I don't know, because of his experience, he is able to provide. Whenever there is no clarity, he always comes with a very simple solution that is suitable to all kinds of people. So thank you so much, sir, for coming down here, and because I know how busy you are, and you are with a lot of commitments, and providing all the support right from the beginning for the development of this institute. And again, thank you, ma'am, for providing such an opportunity for conducting this grand function on Diamond Jubilee celebration. And I wholeheartedly thank Recall President. Finally, he made it to the particular show, okay, because we have been waiting for him and constantly getting the updates where exactly is available. And because we are very much fond of his lunch in the home, okay, so no one should miss, okay. So anyway, but thank you for coming and providing a lot of supports. We have been interacting with a couple of new projects for the institutional development activities. I sincerely thank all the deans, and special mention to Dean Institute Development Subayan sir, and Planning and Development Bhaskar sir, Dean, for making this function grand success, for providing such a excellent infrastructure facilities, running around for the more than last 2 weeks and working on this particular show. And all the other deans, heads of the departments, faculty members, and staff members for participating and making this memorable event. I thank all the students and research scholars for being part of this function, and my sincere thanks to all the members of the organizing committee, especially executive engineer and the staff of estate maintenance department, HOD and staff of CAG for the involvement they have shown and the efforts they have taken in the organizing function. I would like to thank the PhD scholars for rendering the invocation. Finally, I thank all those present and all those who contributed to the success of this event. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please rise for the national anthem.
The Department of Chemical Engineering was founded in 1967. Initially, the department was housed in Department of Mechanical Engineering block and later shifted to present block in 1971, which is inaugurated by the founder principal of REC Trichy, Dr. P.S. Manisundaram. This is the earliest BTech batch and faculty members. The department introduced Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Engineering in the year 1973. And the first doctorate is received by Dr. V. Venkatramani in 1980, guided by Dr. S.H. Ibrahim, and so on with almost 100 plus doctorates. Various MTech programs were introduced in the department. We started MTech program in plant design in 1975, energy engineering in 1996, and process control and instrumentation in 1999. In the year 2020, the Golden Jubilee Annex building was inaugurated by Sri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, Honorable Minister of Education, Government of India, in the presence of Sri Bhaskar Bhatt, Chairman, and Dr. Mini Shaji Thomas, Director, NIT Trichy. Golden Jubilee building has 13 laboratories. These are few among lab facilities in the department. We received Best Department Award in 2008 and 2020 and acknowledged for consistent top performance within institute in the year 2021. In the year 2018, the department was awarded with DST funded project. In the year 2019, the department collaborated with BARC and established pilot scale facility for multi-phase system. They are the head of the department starting from the year 1967 by Dr. S.H. Ibrahim and currently Dr. M. Arivalavan. Recent achievements: alumni of Department of Chemical Engineering received Lifetime Achievement Award. Dr. K. Meera Sharifa Begum, awarded as Women Engineer from IEI in 2022, and Dr. G. Arthunarisharan is in the top 2% scientist for 2 consecutive academic year, 2020 and 2021 in the world ranking. Dr. Jyoti Sahu has received Young Researcher Award from Institute of Scholar, Bangalore in the academic year 2021-22. To the date, we have 4 Prime Minister's Research Fellowships. Also, the department was awarded 6-year NBE accreditation. Thank you.
Center for Energy and Environmental Science and Technology was established at Regional Engineering College in 1995 under UK India REC's project title Energy Theme. Later, CSAT is developed into the Department of Energy and Environment in 2012. The mission of DEE is to develop solutions for a better energy and environmental future through development of technical human resource and technology. The calibration lab in the Department of Energy and Environment got NABL accreditation on 2018. This lab is well equipped with high standard master instruments in the discipline of mechanical, pressure and electrical calibrations. The vision of the calibration laboratory is to provide necessary calibration service to industries and academic institutions. To strengthen and standardize the activities of calibration laboratory, the laboratory is now accredited with NABL certification, which follows the guidelines of ISO IEC 17025-2017.
Testing and Analysis Laboratory in the Department of Energy and Environment is established in 2013. Especially, Testing and Analysis Laboratory is ISO 9001-2008 certified for the year 2015 to 2018. The instrument facility can be used for testing of solid, liquid and gaseous samples. The lab receives samples from all over India and appropriate standard operating procedures are followed for testing samples with skilled manpower. Energy efficient building was constructed in the year 2001 under the Department of Energy and Environment as a model building. It allows the passive building principles that give the best path to achieve net carbon negative buildings by minimizing the electrical loads. Proper window size, placement and proper glazing materials are considered to achieve the daylighting as well as cross ventilation.
Algal shed is an exclusive place for mass production of different species of microalgae using specially designed reactors. The shed contains different designs of algal cultivation systems ranging from 50 liters to 8,000 liters by volume.
Jubilee is a time to rejoice and remember the splendid ways the institution has succeeded in fulfilling its vision and mission with integrity, inclusivity, unity and excellence. On this occasion of this Diamond Jubilee celebration, the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences is evolving skyward with the superfluous contributions of the faculty members in teaching and research since 2004. The department has been offering a full-fledged PhD program since 2004 and has produced quality research work in newer areas of humanities and social sciences. Being backed by a constant source of unwavering support from the administration and my colleagues, it's a privilege and pleasure to serve as the present head of the department from 2021 till date and is indeed a great learning experience.
Sri Aurobindo is about declaring one's location. How do I locate myself with respect to Sri Aurobindo?
Language acquisition, reading and writing, and I'll be giving some inputs on the biological basis for language acquisition. Okay.
Department has been offering industrial economics and management, macroeconomics for all UG and MBA programs.
So when we discuss literature of crisis, we have such beautiful documentation. We call it beautiful, but then it itself is an oxymoron.
Welcome to the Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, one of the important ICE school of the nation, which is celebrating its Pearl Jubilee along with Diamond Jubilee of our institute. These are some of the notable alumni from the Instrumentation and Control Engineering Department with top positions in various sectors. Instrumentation and Control Engineering Department has undergone significant infrastructure development since its inception from 1993. The department is administered by well-qualified and dedicated professors. The teaching fraternity has steadily increased from 1993 to 2023. Here are some of the important milestones of the department. BTech batch started in 1993, followed by MTech in Process Control and Instrumentation in association with Chemical Department in 1999. The department became QIP Center in 2006. The department got the 5-year NBA accreditation in 2008. The department started MTech in Industrial Automation in the year 2020. Got 2 PMRF Fellows in 2021 and 2022. Recently, ICE department got NBA accreditation for 6 years. These are the academic programs offered by the department. Several industrial lectures are organized by the department for interaction with students. These are the eminent speakers from various top institutes and industries. ISA NITT Student Chapter is a professional activity carried out by the students of the department. Also, ICE Association Censors National Level Technical Symposium is organized by the students every year. ICE department has good placement records both at UG and PG level. These are the notable achievements by students of the department. And faculty from the department have published their works in top academic journals and presented their works in international conferences. They have also worked in various projects and consultancies. These are the various patents granted and filed. In addition to department responsibilities, the faculties have taken many administrative positions at the institute level. These all are various curriculum, research, and supporting laboratories. ICE department has various research facilities. At present, the department is working in various research areas. ICECon is our biennial department conference started in 2003. Other two esteemed conferences, ACCORD, TEMA, are hosted by ICE department. These are the various workshops organized by department. This is the mini Miyawaki forest planted in 2021 and maintained by the Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering.
The Department of Physics is situated in the east wing of Ojas building. The Department of Physics provides a world-class scientific platform for scientists and engineers with well-recognized researchers. The department has established various research areas with 18 faculty members at present. It offers MSc in Physics, AIMTech in non-destructive testing apart from the PhD programs. The AIMTech NDT is one of the unique programs in our country that offers industrial exposure to the students in collaboration with BHEL and offers more than 95% placement opportunities. Nearly 25% of postgraduate physics students qualify competitive exams and pursue higher studies in top institutions. The full-time PhD students registered has grown to an average of 50 over the years. Research projects worth more than 400 lakhs have been completed with funding from various agencies such as DST, DRDO, CSIR. The research publications from the department amount to more than 350 in SCI journals for the past 5 years. More than 16 high-end sophisticated research equipments of international standards help the researchers to compete at the international level. The department has nurtured students to develop an indigenous radio telescope for 21 centimeters astronomy, with funding from ISRO. Galactic redshift up to 0.015 has been observed using the radio telescope. The SPY and Optica student chapters of the Department of Physics have undertaken various outreach activities, workshops and industrial visits. Well-known Nobel laureate David Wineland and other reputed international researchers have delivered lectures in the workshops and conferences organized by the department. The department takes pride in our alumni who have excelled in academia, research and industry. Let us hear from a few of them.
Hi, I am Giri Mani, 2012-14 NIT Tiruchirappalli MSc Physics batch.
Hi, my name is Arun Tirumurugan. I have done my PhD in NIT Tiruchirappalli during 2010 to 15.
Hello, my name is Zina Zurek. I was at NIT Tiruchirappalli as a master's student in the Department of Physics between 2020 and 2022.
Recently, the department has shown increasing number of patents and startup research grants, which is a clear indication of our department moving towards technological development. Equipped with expertise in various branches of physics, further growth of the department is expected in the future.
The Training and Placement Department of our institute plays a crucial role of bridging the gap between academia and the professional world. Its primary objective is to ensure that our students are well prepared to face the challenges of the corporate world as they transition from their academic journey. Starting from the days of the benevolent Major Srinivasan and legendary Prince Professor PSM, all the way down to Professor Dakshinamurthy and Professor Mathrubhutam overseeing TNP around the turn of the millennium to the present day, the rich legacy of students first has been the one and only motto of TNP. TNP was housed in the mechanical block first floor eastern wing for long. The first major facelift was championed by Professor Arvindan and supported by Professor R. Mogam during their tenures as the CEO of REC NIT Trichy. TNP subsequently acquired some more space in the second floor, which happened to be first ever office of first ever Prince. This was possible because of Professor Chidambaram. Capstone, the classy exclusive premises for TNP, was a 10-year relentless dream pursuit made possible by the visionary and unorthodox director Professor Sundar Rajan. We started with Bhumi Pujan of the same, and finally Capstone was inaugurated by Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia, former Deputy Chairman of Planning Commission of India, in the presence of Professor Minnie Thomas. The aesthetic yet user-defined design of the place is done by NIT Trichy's architects. Capstone is the only building in the institute for which the conceptual architectural design was done by a student team. Capstone is the final decorative coping stone used to complete a monument. It also means culmination and integrative experience of an educational program which focus on student outcomes and employability. Capstone is equipped with 4 GD rooms, 12 personal interview room, 2 client rooms and 2 pre-placement halls, a recruiter office room and large circulation space for students. The campus placement started with 2 students getting selected to serve the nation in the armed forces in 1968, 1 year before they graduated. They retired as number 2 in Indian Army and Navy. Over the years, the department has fostered a mutually beneficial relationship with industries nationwide, resulting in an impressive placement record. We take pride in the fact that over 90% of registered students secure placements, and our campus attracts more than 270 companies each year to participate in the placement process. In short, the Training and Placement Department of our institute is committed to empowering students. We strive to create a conducive environment where students acquire essential skills, gain industry exposure, and ultimately thrive in their chosen fields.